And we're going to say good morning, good morning, good morning. So happy, goodness gracious, Tuesday. I should know it by now. I've said it a couple times already today, but happy Tuesday. Welcome to the EchoHub training. We're so excited to have you here. And if you have had the opportunity to already download this app, please put it in the chat. So go ahead and give me a 1 if you already have an app installed on your phone. Give me a 2 if you're still checking us out, because if you're checking us out, this might not, you're welcome. We want you here, but we might want to give you some backstory in a separate format, and we could absolutely do that. But it looks like we've got most that are here already have. Okay, so Andreas, you don't have it yet. So we might need a chit chat if you haven't seen the launch video that will give you a little bit of information on why you, okay, you do have it. All right, why you might want this. But I am just so excited for people to win with this app. And, you know, want to talk a little bit about why it was created. And so I'm going to share my screen because we actually talk about that in, I think, the first slide here. Here we go. So why do we have this app? Why did Coach go spend his money to create it for all of us to use? Well, in order to grow our engagement. Now, why do we want to grow our engagement? So more people can see our system of growth posts. I don't know if you guys realize this. I will tell you, I certainly did not know that only about 1% of our connections on social media actually see our content. And how do you know that's true? Well, how many of your friends do you actually see on social media? Like when you go on here and you actually scroll, do you see the same few people every single day? Every single day? I know I do. I see partner co people and I see ads. That's all I see, right? Before I started doing this app. And now I'm seeing a lot more people. And how is that? Well, I'm growing my engagement. I'm getting my word out more, and that brings more people to me. So I'm able to see more people as well. So we want to grow that engagement so that people can see the posts that we're already making twice a day, so that we can interact with new people every single day, so we can grow our business. That's the whole goal. Like, I don't know about you guys, I am here. I don't want to be a social media guru. Like that's not my goal. I'm not going to be an influencer. I'm, as I like to say, 49 and 3/4. I might have to up my percentage pretty soon here, but I'm not ready to say 50 just yet. But I'm not made for the social media world. Like I'm just not. I haven't really focused in that space. But this is allowing me to grow and interact with more people to grow my business, which is the whole point of why we're here. And so I wanted to, and I actually have my beautiful co-host here. Her name's Haley Lee. And so she has been really a huge part of the creation of this entire app. So a lot of that content that you see in like the trading sections, all of that, she is the person that made sure that we had great content in there. So Haley, first of all, thank you. And second of all, it's been a lot of fun to collaborate with her to go create what we have here. But I want you to understand that this is already proven. Okay, so this isn't, Andrea Rosser or Haley Lee or even Brent Palmer creating. Now, what he did is he partnered with a developer that had proof that this was allowing people to earn literally millions of dollars across multiple industries. And he said, I want that for my people. And so what they said was the magic inside of this app is the daily workflow. This is the content, this is the information and the activities that we can do to go take our social media and take it to the next level so that more people can see. And there's some specific ingredients inside here that allow us to go make this happen. And so we know already, hopefully every single person on here is already posting twice a day. And that is part of your normal workflow. That's what you do every single day. And what we're doing is we're adding these items on the right to go take our social media to the next level so we can attract more people in. But I want you to think about this in terms of a recipe. So every single ingredient in here is key to make this recipe run. And so if you think about it, and I like to use the example of a bake sale. So myself and Jean Ann, we are so excited and we are supporting our kiddos and we are going to go be a part of, or our church, we're going to be a part of a bake sale, right? And I think I'm super bougie, right? I'm like, I'm going to make these the best brownies in the entire world. I go to Whole Foods, I spend $1 billion, I get all the organic ingredients, and I make my brownies and I forget the sugar. Okay. Now, Jean Ann, she's smarter than me. She's busy. She's like, I don't have, nobody has time for that kind of nonsense. She grabs the box mix that she already had on her shelf. She grabs 2 eggs, a cup of water. She mixes it together. She brings her brownies and they're delicious, right? What's the difference? She had all the ingredients in hers. Mine were a flop because I forgot a key ingredient. I'm going to tell you, all of these ingredients are so important, and we're going to talk about each of them separately today. But our goal is to work through every single item every single day. And you'll notice in the bottom corner that we say on here, done is better than perfect. And I am just going to remind you of that 1,000 times. Haley's going to remind you of that 1,000 times. Because if you're like us, when we first started, we wanted to do it perfectly. And so we took forever, right? And we did this research and that research, and we made it a lot harder on ourselves. So I'm going to tell you, done is better than perfect. Just go do each of the items and realize that you're going to improve over time. The goal is just to be able to mark them off the list. So Haley, if you wouldn't mind, because most of the time people will say, what in the world do I post about? How do I know what to say on social media? So would you kind of describe to us today kind of how we decide what areas we're going to post about, what we're going to talk about online right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank
So
you.
I think that where you need to start is to come up with your what I would call a big idea, right? And so for Andrea, she is your crunchy homeschooling mama. For me, I'm more of your CEO mom. And so you want to kind of get who you are mapped out. You can even put it on a piece of paper and circle it. Like, what is your big idea about who you are? And then below that, you want to think through what are your 4 pillars? What are things that describe you, things that you're interested in? And so, for the sake of this example, we're going to use these 4. The first one being your connection to Partner Co. Maybe you're passionate about natural and non toxic living. Maybe it's that you want to share that it's an alternative to prescriptions, or maybe you're passionate about the financial side of Partner Co. and what that can offer people. So then you create content or you find content that's related to those pieces of your connection to Partner Co. Next, if you want to move on to your hobbies, for me, I love to travel and visit new places. Maybe it's fitness, maybe it's cooking, maybe it's sewing, maybe it's pickleball, whatever it is, right? Like find what your hobbies are and go post about that, like educate people, that kind of thing. Moving on to passion. What are you passionate about? Maybe it's that you're passionate about homeschooling. Maybe you love German Shepherds like I do. We have a 2-year-old. Um, Maybe you're passionate about your faith and encouraging people. And then you want to move into a space of interest, which is like reading, or maybe you want to share how to invest your money. Maybe you love home design and decor. And so you really kind of want to identify what those 4 pillars are that support who you are, and that's the content that you're going to be focused on sharing on social media.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Haley. So, with that, we're gonna swap today. So I'm gonna do these and you do the other one. So with that, we're gonna kick it off with a call to action. And so, what is this? This is anything that you do that asks your audience to engage with you. And so it can be, we're going to work throughout this to build more authority, but maybe as you're just getting started, maybe this is something as simple as the seasons are changing. This morning was X number of degrees wherever you are, And now my family is in a state of debate on what temperature we keep a thermostat. So help me in the comments. Let me know, what do you keep the temperature at your house? Right now, is that going to build authority with anybody? No. But is it going to get people to interact with you? 100%. And that is really the goal here. So this could be, one of our system of growth posts where it says comment below if you're ready for a drop. We really only want to ask people about our business and have our call to action to be about a business one time a week, but then it would be in those other four pillars. So if you looked on mine, I put one today that talking about my daughter being mostly an adult, and it was like, mamas, how do we transition, and daddies, how do we transition from having our kids under our roof to really not being under our roof anymore? Like, how did you cope with that? Right. So that was my call to action. Answer me that question, because my babies aren't little like Sierra's anymore. And I'm having to deal with this whole new time of life. And that's asking them to interact with me.
Next up, we're going to create a reel. Now, for those of you that just lost your breath, like I did whenever I saw this as one of the daily checklist items, don't freak out. You can make them, and they're really not that hard. And so you may have to do a little digging. You may have to search on Google or YouTube. You can even go into AI, Chat GPT, or something like that in order to get instructions on how to create a reel. But you can also add photos, like 3 or 4 photos on Facebook, and it actually prompts you, do you want to make a reel out of these photos? And so you just simply click yes. As you get more involved with it or it becomes easier to you, then maybe you add music to the background, or maybe you add some text to it. But you want to create some short reels, because what you're capturing here is your engagement and the number of views on your reels. And so you can also use the Boomerang app. I don't know if you have that, but if you don't, it's a fun little app to play with too. So create a reel so that you can capture your views each day.
Beautiful. So the next is an educate post. And this is where we teach people something from our areas of interest. So it could be anything. Like if you're like Kaylee, you're interested in that German Shepherd, you might be teaching people how you get your German Shepherd to sit. So she says she puts food in front of her, right? So whatever it may be, it might be the best book that you read this year, and you give a little outline of what made that book so incredible. Perhaps it's a recipe of the day. Maybe you're not quite sure what to say. Well, you can use some tools to go help you create it. And sometimes people say, well, maybe you don't say this. I can say this. I don't know anything about anything. How can I teach anybody else anything? Well, you know what? You actually know a lot more than you think. And if it's in one of these areas that you care about, maybe you go learn a bit, right? So, right now, I'm really focused on learning more about hiking. So, I can go read an article about, the best gear to hike in when you're middle aged and you need the pack to be really light, right? I go do some research. I read an article. I go put it through the filter of my own brain and go give the three highlights that I learned from that article. So you don't have to be the expert. You just have to know a little bit more than somebody else and be willing to share it in a public forum like your social media.
Now, this next step is probably the most important. If there is one that's most important, you want to engage with your network. And so you want to find people outside of PartnerCo in order to go comment on their most recent post. This is going to help attract people to your content by engaging with them, because these people that you've kind of forgotten about, as you start to re-engage with them, they're going to start seeing your posts more frequently. And so we give you a couple of ways in order to do this. First of all, you can export or download your Facebook friends list and put it in an Excel file so it's all pretty and organized. That's the nerd in me. Or you can take these quick steps to find who you're interacting with and how to find your friends list. So from Facebook, if you go to your friends, then you can see over on the far right hand side, like your list of friends, and you can actually sort them by the first friends that you made on social media, which may actually be the people that you interact with the least. And so you want to go through these people, just keep up with who you commented on last in order to go back to your list each day. But you want to start going through your Facebook friends in order to start commenting on their post and re-engaging them. Now, I will tell you that if their post was more than 6 weeks ago, you want to think about um, if they're really active, right? So I've noticed several of mine, they never post on social media. And the only time that they're tagged on social media is by other people. Like they never post. Those people are actually bringing down the algorithms for your Facebook feed. And so you want to, unless you're related to them and you're going to see them at Thanksgiving, you may want to consider unfriending them because those people are actually dragging down your algorithms. So this take this time to clean up your Facebook friends list while you're going in and commenting on people and re-engaging them too.
Next, we have the entertain post, and this can absolutely be anything. You do not need to create it. You just need to make it look like it's your own. So if you see a meme, right, you're on Facebook and you see a meme and it makes you laugh out loud, like if it makes you feel a big feeling, whatever that feeling may be, like it may make you feel a little choked up, right? You feel a little bit like nostalgic, you feel whatever, but you just get a big feeling. I'm probably going to stay, if it makes you angry, maybe don't push that out in the world. But if it makes you laugh or feel something, then go grab it and go steal it. It could be a funny reel that you like. Well, go ahead and download it, copy it, and then go post it as your own. It could be a picture of something, just, and you can search. So if you go onto Facebook, you can literally search funny meme, nostalgic meme, mom memes, whatever it may be. You can go search and then you can actually grab that content, save the photo to your phone, whatever it may be, and go then reshare it as your own. Now, why do we want to do that extra step? Because maybe Jean Ann is really funny and I just go to her page and I'm like, oh, that made me laugh so hard. And I just want to click that share button. Well, what that really does is that tells, oh my goodness, hi, baby. That goes and tells Facebook, Jean Ann is really the funny one. So I'm going to take all of Andrea's people and I'm going to go push them over to Jean Ann to go see her post. So I love Jean Ann. So I might do that every once in a while so that her post might get some extra engagement. Yeah, there's big hearts right there. But most of the time, I'm doing this for business, so I want people on my page. So that's why you want to grab that content and make it your own so that Facebook directs people to your content instead of somebody else's.
Next is going to be a motivational post. This can be different things. I know if you look in my phone, you're going to see tons of different motivational and encouragement type quotes and scriptures and things like that. And so you want to share things that are going to motivate people and inspire and encourage them. Another thing is if you go to do a post on Facebook, sometimes it will show that color block and you can put your post and your words on a color block if it's within a certain number of characters. When you're using a color block, you want to make sure that you use the same color each time so that your network starts seeing that and starts responding to, oh, Haley's got her purple block today. Let me go see what she says. If I'm going to offer encouragement or motivation, then I want to make sure that people are seeing that, and so they get used to that purple block.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, next is post in your stories. And this can be so incredibly simple. You made that motivate post, well, go share it in your story. You had a funny, go share it in your story. And it could also be a day in the life of Charlene. So whatever feels better to you, where maybe you love taking a picture of your breakfast and your kids and your cat and whatever it may be, and you want to have like this running thing running in your stories, well, then great. If that's part of your personality, like Rocket, go do it. If you're more like me, that I forget that stories even exist, well, go grab something from your wall and just share it in there. Don't overcomplicate it. Remember, done is better than perfect.
Yep. And the next thing is you're going to share your content into groups. So, how does this work? First of all, you want to make sure that you're going and joining multiple groups as it relates to your interests or your hobbies. Oh, sorry. Did I jump ahead of that? I
You're
apologize.
great. You're great. I'm just
Um,
trying to catch up.
okay. Okay. So you want to go join a lot of different groups. And so I would say 20 to 40 groups per pillar, right? So lots of groups. You can't join too many. But the idea is that when you share something on your personal Facebook page that applies to some of those groups, not all of them every day, but some of them, what you're going to do is once it's posted to your page, right underneath of that, you'll see the option to share, and it will say share through Messenger, or it will say share to stories, or it will say share to groups. And you want to select that option. And then on the next screen, it gives you all of the groups that you're a part of and that you can share into. And so let's say that I posted something about my German Shepherd. Then I'm going to go post her picture because she's really cute into some of those German Shepherd groups that I'm a part of so that other people can love on my fur baby. And those people may say, oh, well, she feeds her dog XYZ. Maybe that would be beneficial to mine. I should go follow her in case she shares other tips related to my dog. And so the idea is to get new engagement, get new followers and friends through sharing content into those groups that they find is beneficial to them.
And then the last task that we want to do is we want to do a reach out. And this all boils down to is finding somebody on the team today to go love on. I like how coach says it is just go find somebody today to make their day better because you showed up in it. And the app's going to take you to Messenger so you could go reach out to them in Messenger. You can do it anywhere. That doesn't really matter, but just go reach out to somebody and love on them today. This could be a customer that maybe you haven't heard from for a minute and you're like, oh, I just want to check on them and make sure that they're doing great. Maybe they're a previous customer, a former customer. Maybe this is somebody on the team. It could be somebody cross line, whatever. But this is just somebody that you have a connection with through because of PartnerCo in some way. And we're just going to share a little bit of love because we are better together. And this just helps improve our culture and the team and the cohesion. And it's the fun part of what we do here.
Absolutely. So, if you want to get more information through the app, there are some training videos that are in another section. So, like, you want to go into the daily workflow at the bottom. That is the number one place that you want to be. But there is some training, additional training that you can go watch under the creating content to build authority folder. So, you can check those out as well.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Well, all I'm going to say here is that for all of us, we want to begin this with the end in mind. And what do we mean by that? What is our goal? Our goal is to grow an empire. And how do we do that? Well, we recruit more people. And how do we do that? We have more eyes on the system of growth. How do we do that? We increase our engagement, right? So that is the whole point of what Coach had created for all of us is to go get more eyes on our stuff so that we can move or we can show them our before and afters so that they buy our drops and our products so that they join our business. So just realize that all of this is a learning curve. This is a growth phase. We actually talked about that on the coaches corner this morning that this is something that's taking a lot of us outside of our comfort zone of places that we never thought we would be on social media. But man, is it creating incredible changes in our businesses already, even using it for such a short amount of time. And so that's the goal. We want you all to benefit. I'm going to share the training calendar really, really quickly. We've got a few more of these on the books. So if you're like, oh, I want to come back, I need to learn more. Well, we've got one Wednesday, one Thursday, one Friday, and we'll see moving forward after that if we continue to need to repeat these. We would love to help in any way that we can, but we want everybody to feel as comfortable as they can doing something that is incredibly uncomfortable. So we're here to help you and support you with that. And then last, I wanted to show you the tech support. So we're going to tell you guys there will actually be an announcement today, but we just had a big push. They did a big update. And so your app should be working more smoothly. You know, it's technology, so it's constantly improving. But if you have a hiccup in your app that's on the technical side that we might not be able to help you with, they can. So grab this email, you know, take a picture, put it in your phone somewhere for if you have a tech issue in the future, they will get it fixed. They're very quick about getting things taken care of for us. But we just want to thank you for being here today. And I'm going to go ahead and stop my share. And we're going to stop the recording.